There is a momentous event taking place on planet Earth this day, August 22, 2013. You may not be aware of it, but that does not make it any less historic. Today is the day that all the dark entities which have been hiding inside human hosts are being told they must leave now. And in doing that, they must choose to either give themselves up and go to the light or be dissolved back into the pool of molecules as required by Prime Creator. There will be no exceptions. Any who refuse to leave but insist on remaining with the host will be slowly dissolved by the action of the light energy within the host. The higher the vibration, the faster the dissolution will take place. You see, they are being given a choice whether to continue their lives as a soul or be discontinued. This is more than fair, as you might say. Should they decide to turn toward the light, they will be escorted gently by a guide who respects their individuality and their choice. The ones who are taken to the light will be forgiven and welcomed back, for it is not the past that matters in one's soul's development. It is the state of your soul, your attitude, your intention, and your light at this very moment which matters. Nothing else. Anyone can be restored. Everyone can be forgiven. As we write this, our dear Lady Portia, who is transcribing my words, is feeling the intense energy. It is filled with feeling, anxiety, fear, confusion, conflict, like a drop of water on a hot skillet, as she describes it. It is difficult to manage for those of you who are empathic, especially if you are not aware of the source. This high intensity will continue until after the healing radio show in which the dark entities are taken to the light by Archangel Gabriel and Lucifer. They have taken on the responsibility of calling in and receiving all those who were lost and all those who were conscripted into the legions of Satan under the incorrect impression that their leader was Lucifer. Lucifer was not ever evil, nor was he the Satan, nor was he the leader of any dark organization or gang. He was and will always be our dear brother, whose name means light, and who has lived an exemplary series of lives in the service of humankind. His intention was to teach humans to learn to love themselves, and by doing that, he believed they would find their connections to God. Although we do not generally talk about our earth incarnations, I will give you an idea of the kind of work Lucifer did in his lives. One recent incarnation was as Abraham Maslow, the brilliant psychologist who developed the concept of peak performance. It inspired many to reach for what is best in themselves. You have also heard of his work, and as one of ancient Greece's most well-known philosophers. Lucifer and Gabriel are continuing their work to protect and free humankind from the Dark Ones who came here to planet Earth to dominate all. They are finishing that arduous task by clearing the entire planet of the minions who were seduced into the order of evil lures by those who believed that they could defeat God. As you can see, they did not, and they never will. It is not time for them to be permanently removed from within your bodies and from the surface of the planet. They cannot survive in the higher dimensions without being restored to heart feeling. So they are not a threat to other fifth-dimensional planets or any beings of high vibration. Now let us turn our attention to the monumental events of today, Thursday, August 22, 2013, by your Earth calendar. This evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time, there will be an event which will be recorded in the history of the planet as a turning point, the beginning of a new era. We will conduct a healing session of monumental proportions in which all the dark entities still hiding on planet Earth will be called to come forward to be taken to the light. The one we are calling Prince Reginald will cooperate with Gabriel, who will sound her trumpet. This sound will reverberate into every part of the planet, to those who are being harbored by human hosts, and to those who are hiding inside the Earth's crust, and those who have been flushed out of their base on the far side of the moon. No reptilian entity will be permitted to remain to harass or compromise the happiness and full functioning of any being on earth. There will be no exceptions. Any human who refuses to relinquish their hold on the dark entity within them will find that they cannot maintain that hold. Although they may hang on for a matter of hours, the light which is pouring forth from the central sun and the outpouring of love from the healers and masters who are taking part in this healing event will overcome the darkness once and for all, and those hangers on will be dissolved into molecules and dispersed. I repeat this command. No dark entities will remain on planet Earth. There will be no exceptions. Anyone who insists they are still being plagued by darkness will need to look into their own ideas and conviction to discover why they have pledged their allegiance to pain and misery. What will remain for those who have been invaded by these invaders will be the healing from having adapted to feeling lack, depression, anxiety, uncertainty, self-hatred, and confusion. This will require determination and dedication to rebuilding their own inner connection to higher self and to God. We will provide encouragement and instruction in these messages from me and from Mother, Father, God, to help you rebalance your energies to fulfill the promise of your brilliant Creator selves, strong, confident, and filled with the great light of heaven. Never again will the people of planet Earth be plagued by interference within themselves imposed on them from without by those who wish to harm and control them. You will be now free to breathe, take command of your own thoughts and feelings, and begin manifesting the dream we all came here to build. Only now will the true nature of humankind be visible to all, for you have been profoundly suppressed by these dark entities, on whom there are millions. They have particularly attacked the light workers of great power to hold them back from fulfilling the wondrous accomplishments of which they are capable. You will now see a flowering a new golden age of creativity and goodwill, as all the energies of light are released, allowing these talented and dedicated beings to rise to their full potentials. It is truly a new day, beloved ones. We now are able to arrange this mass healing and removal of the dark ones in such a way that you can all witness the event yourselves. No matter where on the planet you live, any place where a computer is available with an internet connection, there will be access to this great event. It will be recorded for posterity, and copies of the recording made available on blogtalkradio.com and on YouTube to be copied and distributed across the planet. Everyone will eventually know of this clearing and will know of the reason for the wondrous lightness they will feel tomorrow. Everyone will see and feel the change, even if they are not aware of the cause. Mark this day on your timeline, dear ones. This is the day all the mental hospitals will be made useless. All the hospitals will empty out, all the prisons will become an antiquated houses of horror, never to be inhabited again. As the souls across the world awaken to their new inner peace, soldiers will lose their interest in fighting. The spot will retire from wanting to control their people, and armies will turn their attention to rebuilding, restoring, and helping people to live more comfortably. All weapons will take on this tasteful aura, as they come to have seen as the instrument of torture and destruction they really are. No one will want to be known as someone who is attracted to violence and death. Those titillations will be known as the misguided thinking of ones who were under the influence of the dark invaders. Those inferior life forms who could not feel or think truly. They were not able to think truly because of their neurological defect caused by their unfortunate decision to manipulate their own DNA to suppress their heart-mind. It changed them, thousands of years ago, into beings without compassion, without connection to love, and without connection to God. As a collective, they were the expression of evil. They were known as the Reptilians, the faction of dark beings from the Orion star system. Those who initiated this project professed to have a leader of great power, Satan, who was Lucifer, God's son. The story was told so often and with such conviction that the millions of reptilians under the command of the original Dark Ones were convinced they were the army of Lucifer. Only when Lucifer announced his return on radio show with Catherine and Andy Hart on July 27, recorded on blogtalkradio.com, Hollow Earth Network, did the dark faction discover the lie they had lived for eons. It caused havoc in the ranks of entities who had been carrying out their assigned duties of making trouble for humankind, individually and as a group. They knew they had been betrayed, lied to, manipulated. They also now knew that Lucifer was the true leader, and they began to learn that they had a choice. As the energies on the planet rose, and the light workers they were trying to keep in darkness began to raise their vibration, the DNA of the Dark Ones began to be reactivated, just as it was happening with humankind. They listened to the voices of Lucifer and Gabriella, who were calling them home, inviting them to come to the light to be forgiven and return to their rightful place with God. When Prince Reginald, the current leader of the Reptilians, heard of Lucifer's return, he made the decision to vacate the body of the powerful lightworker he had been inhabiting. He left during the night in order to escape and to go to Lady Portia in order to ask for safe passage. He was able to raise his vibration because of the time spent in his host's aura, and lodge himself in our dear Lady Master's throat. He welcomed the invitation to live, surrounded by the healing team of which I was a member. He turned himself in, asking to be allowed to lead all the members of his species to the light. Reginald has been forgiven, and is being encouraged to raise his light further in order to eliminate all residue of thought patterns leading to dark action. He has been taken to the light, offered a pardon by God, and has been given healing treatments himself to prepare him for the work of leading his people to the light. He will be accompanied by Lucifer, whom he now sees as his rightful leader. Gabriel, whose powerful beacon of light, will beckon them home, and the legions of light, those in spirit and those incarnated now. All the returning beings will be escorted, one by one, with the help of millions of mentors, who will escort them on their return home. There they will be welcomed, and folded in the love of all that is, and taken to the healing light chambers to be restored to the whole beings they were originally created to be. They will no longer continue as Dark Ones, but will be restored to live out their birthright, the mission of doing God work, bringing love and light to the Milky Way galaxy and beyond. Rejoice with us in this historic day of freedom, beloved ones. You have triumphed over darkness by raising your own vibration, by doing your own light work, and by remaining in faith during these difficult long centuries of pain and struggle. You have risen above the challenges, and you will be rewarded with the joy of knowing you have accomplished this wondrous shift, which allowed for the defeat of darkness across your entire planet. As Father God is fond of saying, "It is done, it is finished." Before the sun has set on the Americas this day, all dark entities will have joined the great procession of souls moving into the light. Tears of joy will wash away the years of pain, and all will celebrate by dancing, singing, and hugging each other in the streets. Watch as the realization spreads, as people awaken to the truth. It will not happen in a single moment, but it will take hold in the hearts and minds of all humankind. In this year of our magnificent ascension to the light, I am Tinella, the one you have known as Jesus.